Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for letting me borrow the car in this video. Toyota of Naperville is one of the largest Toyota dealers in Illinois, ready to find the right car for you. Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2017 Audi A3 e-tron. Up front is a 1.4 liter turbocharged inline 4, as well as a hybrid system, and down below is a 6-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Audi A3 for a couple of reasons. Well, mainly the fact that it is the e-tron, which means it is a plug-in hybrid. These were incredibly rare here in the United States, with Audi only bringing about 5,000 of them to the States between 3 model years of 2016, 2017, and 2018. In 2018, they only sold about 140 of them. So this is an incredibly rare car in America, and I'm struggling to understand why. But before we get on to anything else, I have a website, zackpradel.com, where you can buy stickers like this retro sticker pack or big friggin' bottle sticker, both with free shipping. You could also submit your own vehicle to be reviewed by me through a quick and easy submission form, and you'd get a video of your car just like this one. And you could read my behind-the-scenes blog to see what I'm filming before it comes out on the channel. But let's get back to that hybrid drive system. Well, the 1.4 liter turbo is pretty commonplace in Volkswagen products. The Jetta used it, the Golf used it, not that crazy. However, what is crazy is the plug-in hybrid system, and Volkswagen tells you it can go about 17 miles on just electric charge. So if you work just down the street, if you work less than 5 or 10 miles from home, you can do almost your entire drive and commute on electricity. And it has a huge benefit where when you do run out of electricity after that 17 miles, it just drives like a normal car. Then you have the little 1.4 liter turbo to get you around point A to point B like a regular car. That is what is fantastic about plug-in hybrids, and I absolutely love it. I recently did the 4xe Wrangler, which was the same thing, that went between 20 and 30 miles on electric power. So this is a little bit less, smaller car, less batteries, things like that. But I really, really love that usability of it. If you have a short commute, this is kind of a no-brainer. You can get to and from there without spending a dime on gas. That is very, very nice. And that's the big thing about plug-in hybrids. I don't think that they're here to save the world, because batteries still use nickel, which mining nickel is a very dangerous and environmentally unfriendly process. But you have to look at these as vehicles that'll save your wallet. And that, it definitely will. You'll have to fill up way less often. I love that. Together, the electric motor and the gasoline engine make about 204 horsepower. So let's put it into sport mode. It's called dynamic here in Audis. And let's see what it'll do. Right now, the loudest thing is my shoe squeaking on the brake pedal. But here we go. I always forget about electric torque with wheel spin. A little bit of chirping of the wheels, which I don't expect out of a little hatchback like this, and that was fast. That was good. That was, for a vehicle in this size and segment, that was that was pretty dang good. I really, really thoroughly enjoy driving this car. It's a blast to drive. I like that it still has a 6-speed automatic where a lot of other vehicles don't. And just overall, really, really big fan of this whole experience, which we'll talk more about with my final thoughts. Last but not least, it is front-wheel drive, in case you were wondering. But let's get on to the interior. Well, in front of me, I have this digital cockpit, Audi calls it. And I do quite like it because I do get an infotainment screen. The Audi TT and Audi R8 from the same years, everything is run through the gauge cluster, and it looks similar to this, but everything is run through that. I don't like that. So I do have a secondary screen we'll talk about in a second. But off to the left, I do have my battery percentages and tachometer, which is really small. And off to the right, I have my speedometer. And then in the center, I get this screen that I can customize pretty endlessly. Tons and tons of different pages I can look through in here. Very, very nice. And what I really like is that it does give you a nice visualization of how much charge and gasoline that you have left. By the end of this video, I might not have any charge left, but here's when it did have charge. And so you can see it there, which is very, very nice. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my controls for that center screen, as well as view, which I can minimize my gauges and take a look at other things. Really, really nice there. And then on the right, I have my voice commands, phone options, volume, navigation, and my favorite button, which I can customize to do something that I want. The overall look and feel of the steering wheel, very modern, very, very nice, and I love it. Off to the left, I do have a climate control vent that looks very interesting. Then I have this nice little trim piece and, of course, my headlights, and on the door, I have my lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, I do have a little infotainment screen. Like I said, I love the fact that I get this because the Audi TT and Audi R8 just have the gauges to run everything. Well, this, I can have my radio or navigation up on this screen, and it does have a little party piece where you can hit a button, or when the car is turned on or turned off, the screen goes back into the dash. Very, very cool, very gimmicky. I worry about this breaking in the next 5 to 10 years, but for now, it's still working. I also do get a backup camera, of course, and it is decent. It's a little small because the screen is small, and then they made the backup camera even smaller than that. So I would have liked to have been more full screen, but not the end of the world. Then I do have 2 more climate control vents, again with that really cool design. I almost feel like this would look cool as a wheel on a car. But then I have a couple of buttons. So I have my drive mode select. I do have a couple different drive modes for comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. I also have my EV mode, so I can turn my e-tron mode on and off to battery hold, hybrid, or EV. EV mode will allow me to drive the vehicle just using the batteries, which is fantastic. I also do have my parking sensors on and off, hazard switch, traction control on and off, and then I can manually put up and down the radio if I would like. Then I have the climate controls, dual zone climate. I do have heated seats, fan speed, where to send it, rear defrost, anything you want out of modern climate controls. It's here in the A3 e-tron. Then I do have a USB down below and a 12-volt outlet, a little cubby, and then cup holders. So we will do a big friggin' bottle test. These cup holders are tiny. They'll barely hold a Red Bull can. And so, unfortunately, it fails the big friggin' bottle test. Then down below, we do have the shifter. The shifter says e-tron on it, which is pretty cool because this was such a rare vehicle that is kind of a rare part to see, which is awesome. I also can plus minus if I would like, because this is a traditional dual clutch 6-speed automatic, not a CVT or eCVT that a lot of hybrid vehicles have. This is actually a normal 6-speed, and I like it a lot. Then off to the right, I have volume. Off to the left, I have my start-stop. And then I have my control dial for the center screen. This is for navigating and different buttons to go to different places. I'm not in love with it. I also don't hate it. So it is what it is, and I'm getting by with it. And most Audi products from this era have the exact same dial, so it kind of comes with the territory. Then I do have my power parking brake, and then a mirrored switch that is actually just a dead switch. Kind of funny looking. I do have a center console, a USB and aux. What's interesting is that Audi actually numbered the USBs. So this is USB 2 in the center console. USB 1 was up at the front. And then we got to talk about the seats. The seats are very typical Audi. This taut leather, this hard leather. Looks nice, feels nice. Like I said, they are heated, but other than that, they're not anything crazy or remarkable. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2017 Audi A3 e-tron. And a couple of things to note. First of all, this is my driving position, which I even moved up a little bit, and still not great knee room back here. Knees are touching. Headroom is decent. I'm not touching the ceiling. However, I could see on a nice bump I might. However, that's exactly what I would expect out of a vehicle like this. The A3 e-tron or non-e-tron is a basic entry-level car. At least here in the United States, I believe it was the smallest vehicle you could get. I believe overseas they have the A1, but we only got the A3s, which is this, and so this is an entry-level small vehicle for the American market. So that's exactly what I would expect. However, when we talk about price, this back seat is not great for the price, but we'll worry about that later. I do have a center console back here. We have some storage, and we do have cup holders that pop out, kind of like that. Pretty neat there, but other than that, nothing too crazy. Let's go hop around back. We'll take a quick look at the hatch, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, so we're on the back of the Audi A3 e-tron. Pop the trunk up like that. We do have a mysterious box. Just seems to be full of extra parts and things like that. However, that box is actually a good showing of the space. Not a huge trunk. However, it is a hatch. It is very usable. You get this nice privacy cover. You do have some other little things over here, some tire stuff, little compartments, things like that. Nothing too crazy. And there is a pass-through for the back seats, as well as you can put the back seats down. So very versatile when it comes to the rear hatch of the A3. Exactly what I would expect out of a smaller vehicle like this. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I love the look of this Audi A3 e-tron. I love the little wagon. I love the proportions of it. It looks like a more mature, grown-up Golf, and that to me is just so cool. I really love the look and design of this car. I feel like it's very well proportioned. It looks right. It looks aggressive. It looks prestigious. It looks... I really can't get over it. This thing looks absolutely fantastic. And something I love about little hatchbacks like this is that they kind of feel like underdogs, or they kind of feel like this sort of best friend where big cars feel like you're piloting a country. This is kind of us against the world mentality to me. It's just me, 4 seats, 4 wheels, and a little engine up front. And taking a little car on a road trip is something you have to experience, because you really learn how to live in a tiny space. And it's almost more comforting. It's like the car is hugging you rather than you're just using it as a utility vehicle. It's a very interesting experience, and I love little hatchbacks for that, because they have that extra hatchback space for putting all your luggage and gear. It's almost like a war horse. You know, you put your saddlebags on the back and then you go into war. That's how I feel about these little hatchbacks like this, and that's why I love this vehicle so much. That paired with the power, it still packs a punch. It's a horse that bites, and I love that. I really do. And now let's get on to my final thoughts. Well, I love this thing wholeheartedly. I love driving it. The driving experience is fantastic. It's aggressive, and yet it's also quiet. The EV mode is quiet. I love that about it. I love the proportions in size, like I just ranted and raved about. You guys know that I love these hatchbacks. I think it's designed fantastic. I love it, and honestly, I think more and more people should drive these. However, there's one glaring problem as to why people don't. Well, first of all, they are rare, and we only got about 5,000 of them, and that's spread across 50 states. That's not that many considering how big this country is. But the biggest issue, the most glaring issue, is that the entry-level base version of the A3 e-tron was $40,000, and if you got the Prestige, the top trim level, it was $48,000. This is a fantastic car. It is not a $50,000 car. And that, I have to assume, is why these didn't sell well. Yes, I love it. You heard in my voice, I love this thing. I would welcome this thing into my home any day of the week. But my wallet would say, hold on, let's wait a second here. And that's a shame, because I really think that these are fantastic. I love it so much. But for $50,000, let's just say, because this isn't the Prestige, let's just say $40,000. No, I would want something bigger for $40,000. If I'm paying $40,000, I should get $40,000 of car, and this doesn't quite feel like that. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for letting me take out their Audi A3 e-tron. Toyota of Naperville is absolutely awesome. I can't recommend them enough. Their information is up on the screen, as well as linked in the description below. We've been working together for almost 4 years, which is fantastic. They've been absolutely awesome. And they have tons of cool and unique cars on the lot, not only new Toyotas, but vehicles just like this one. And I find that awesome. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.